The last day of the OE crash courses, we're going to start off with procurement and inventory management. Mm, Gosh. So we have a few things we have to examine when we're looking at procurement and inventory management, right? Every department, as I tell you all, first thing we're going to look at are the functions of that department and then the duties and attributes of a clerk in that department, right? Functions of this department, they have to decide what to purchase, who to purchase from, so they'll evaluate the different potential vendors. They'll actually place the orders, maintain purchasing records, manage the inventory, and one function that's a function of all departments is liaise with other departments. If we get a question, list three functions of X department, liaise with other departments is always one. As a free function, you get it. Next, duties and attributes of a clerk in the department. You'll notice every time, human resource, accounts department, purchasing, was always those first two things. Make sure you know them. So a clerk in that department will be expected to file records, prepare or process requisitions and people requesting to buy stuff, maintain the stock record so you know how much stock you have, you know when you need to order more, etc. Liaise with other departments and verify orders. You're supposed to be looking out for the best interest of the company. So you need to have integrity and honesty. You can't be, all right, I have a friend working in this business. I gotta make it so that the company buying from this friend. And it's not in the company's best interest. Shouldn't be doing that. You'll be communicating with vendors and people internally. So you should have good communication skills, or at least the ability to communicate well. You should be able to take the initiative, and you need to be detail oriented. Hmm. Now the things that, or the factors to consider when it's time to make a purchase. The quality of the product. Is it durable? Is it long lasting? The urgency. How quickly do you need this product? Do you need it now? Or is it okay if it's not delivered quickly? The cost. Yeah, the quality is good, but does it fit your budget? Can you afford to buy it or not? Availability. Is it even available now? Is it only available in certain seasons? And any additional incentives? If you order now, will you get a discount? Will they give you free delivery? Do they have insurance? Any additional incentive that the company is offering? Everybody good so far?
Yes, sir.
Mhm. Now let's look at the procedure that they go through in the department. So firstly, people will send them purchase requisitions. People from a department. So let's say the finance department thinks they need more stationery. They will send a purchase requisition requesting that the company buys more stationery. Right? They'll evaluate it. I know what happened here. But the second part will be to review. Go, sorry. And once it is good, yeah, they need it. You look for suppliers to see if they have anybody that offering what they need. Now, in most cases, they'll have a supply listing already, suppliers listing that they would normally go to. But if they don't, they'll try to locate one. Then you'll examine what each of these suppliers are offering. You'll compare their catalogs. After that, they will invite tenders. Do you know what tenders are? Anybody?
So is that like a catalog, like where you could look and see?
Something like that. But it goes a bit further than just a catalog. It's you inviting them to make offers. So you need 1,000 pens. You invite different stationery companies to make offers on what they're willing to give you, how much money they're going to charge. Then they compare the offers. Mhm. Mhm. Once you see, you decide which one you want. You make sure you have the budget fit. And you place the order. Once you place the order, you receive the money. No, you receive the money, you receive the items you bought. So you get a request, you review it, look for suppliers, see what they offer, invite them to make offers, select the best one, make sure you have the money for it, place the order, get the shipment. Mm. You could order by sending them a purchase order, or you could use the e-commerce if they have it available. Mhm. Right? So it starts internally with the requisition form. Some department, or someone in department fills out a requisition form, which is a request for the company to buy something. And then we would request some external documents. So you might ask for a quotation, for example, or a catalog. When we place our order now, we will use our order form or a purchasing order form, whichever one you want to call it. It's the same thing. I don't want you to mix up purchase requisition forms and purchase order forms. Purchase requisition forms are done internally. Purchase order forms are external. When it's time to pay, they would send you an invoice letting you know how much money you're owing. That would come from external. When you receive the goods, you may have a delivery note or a goods received note to sign. If for some reason you have to return any goods, you'll receive a credit note when you return it. Or if they undercharge you by accident, they'll send you a debit note to fix it. These are all the documents, or most of the documents, that you'll see going through the procurement department. One thing to note, once somebody signs a purchase order form, that becomes a legally binding agreement. And again, purchase requisitions are used internally. Everybody good again, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, some of these terms you need to learn, right? You need to know them. If you did POB, you may have seen some already. E and OE means errors and omissions accepted. It means that if you make an error in any of your documents, you're not legally binded by it. So you put 10,000 when it's supposed to be 100,000. You're not legally binded by it. You can just make the fix the whatever clerical error it was. Then there's C, OD, and CWO. Cash on delivery means you pay when the goods arrive. CWO, cash with order. When you make the order, you pay one time. X works. All transportation costs and insurance costs are paid by the buyer. Once the goods leave the factory, all those costs are covered by the buyer. I think you all know what VAT is and what discounts are. But one thing, I want you all to be able to read this, and if you did accounts, you should be able to. If not, pay attention. If you see 2/10 N30, that means 2% discount if you pay within 10 days. If not, the full amount is due in 30 days. That's how that reads. 2/10 net N30 or 2/10 net 30. 2% discount if you pay within 10 days, but the full amount is due in 30 days. Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's look at the difference between free on board and cost insurance rights. FOB, free on board, The seller will deliver to the port. The buyer pays the shipping, insurance, and any risk that happens from there is on the buyer. Cost insurance freight, the seller pays cost insurance and transport all the way to the buyer. So FOB, seller pays up to the port when the goods are being delivered. Once it leave, it's all on the buyer. CIF, the seller pays everything. Clear? You all understand the difference, right? Pretty clear?
Yes, sir.
Mhm. Right. Now it's called procurement and inventory management. You looked at the procurement. Now it's time to look at the inventory management, all right? So let's look at some of the different things you have to pay attention to when managing the inventory. Firstly, you all know what inventory is what I mean when I say inventory, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What do I mean?
Items or products that the company
Mm-hmm.
stocks up to be sold
Mm-hmm.
to the public or customers.
Perfect. All right. So some of the things you have to take into account. One, not overstocking or understocking. If you have too much inventory, it will cost you money to store it and maintain it to make sure nothing happens to it. If you have too little, you might end up missing out on sales. That's one. Two, you don't want to spend too much money on your inventory and you don't have any cash because all of it tied up in your goods. You want to make sure you have some cash available. Three, you have to pay attention to the marketing trends. If you know it coming up to a season where people are gonna want your goods a lot, you have to make sure you have it on hand and ready. Four, you have to keep your product safe. Down to the workers might try to steal. Five, you have to optimize your warehouse space. Use it as efficiently as possible where you can store as much as you need to while keeping it safe and secure. And the last one, you have to decide what ordering method you're doing. One of the most frequently used ones is just in time. If we could use just in time as the most efficient way, we will save a lot of money. This is when you get your goods exactly when you need them. If you could get your goods exactly when you need them, you reduce the cost to store them. You reduce the risk of them being stolen because they're not staying in the warehouse for long. You reduce the risk for insurance companies. All right, so you save a lot of money and your goods don't become obsolete, but it's very risky because if you don't plan it properly, there's a chance you could lose out on your sales. And then sometimes it might be stuff that out of your control. What if the supplier have a delay? Yeah, so it has some really good advantages of using just-in-time delivery, but it's very risky as well. How are we going to keep track of our inventory? We have both manual and digital means. So for one, whenever stock is issued, certain documents should be prepared. For example, the stock requisition forms. Whenever there's a request to issue stock, a stock requisition form should be filled out. Mm. Stock card should be completed, tracking how much stock there is. When more stock come, you update it. When stock leave, you update it. And it should have journals recording the stock and the levels of stock. Now, digitally, you could use software to track the amount of goods you have, and it could automatically let you know when it's time to reorder. You could use barcode scanners to scan when inventory is leaving and to automatically update the system. And then if you have RFID tags, it could track the items instantly. You don't even have to scan it directly. Right, so when you have your stock, there's two levels you have to look at. Something called, well, three, I should say. A minimum level, which is the minimum amount of stock you should have at any point in time. If you ever reach a minimum level, it needs to reorder immediately. Right? If something is wrong, it should have reordered from before. If something happens and you're there, you know you need goods quickly. Your maximum level is the maximum amount you should have on stock at a point in time. You should not cross that level because you might end up with wastage or overstocking, which could increase your costs. And your reorder level is the trigger point. That's the point where, okay, there's the amount of goods I have now. And before it reaches the minimum point, let me reorder some goods. That way you'll always be stocked. As a company, you need to try to identify those points yourself. It will vary from company to company and from product to product. Everybody understands the maximum level, minimum level, and reorder level,
Yes, sir.
Yes, too.
right? Now, how do we value our stock? Accountants, well, you would have done this already. FIFO, LIFO, and AFCO. FIFO, first in, first out. The first set of goods to come into the company is the first set of goods you sell. Right, that is good for perishable items because you want to get them out quick. You don't want to hold them long. Last in, first out. The last set of goods to come into the company is the first set of goods to go out. An average cost just means you calculate the average cost of the goods all the time. These are different means to use to calculate the value of a stock, right? I'm going to briefly show you all how to use each of them. Zoom. All right, so let's look at this example, right? Let's see. As soon as I'm able to write. Right. Let's say I bought 10 mangoes, $5 each. I bought 35 mangoes again, and the price raised this time, so now they were $10 each. I sold 20 mangoes. I have 25 mangoes remaining. How much are they worth? Who could answer that for me? I'll save you some time. That's not enough information to answer it. Chanel, you want to try? I see your hand went up.
Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
All right. When said I sold 20 mangoes, did I sell 20? Did I sell any from the ones that were worth $5? Did I sell any that was from the ones that were worth $10? Did I sell all from the ones that were worth $10? There's so much information I left out. Any answer that I give would be a guess. Right? Yes, Maurice. That's why we do stock valuation, to try to calculate the value of the stock. Right? So if I was to use FIFO, let's see, issued, received, balance. If I was to use first in, first out, the first set of goods that come in the company is the first set of goods to go out, right? In the first transaction, I bought 10 mangoes for $5 each, right? So my balance is 10 mangoes for $5 each, which will be a value of $50, right? Because 10 by 5 is 50. That's correct? So far, so good? The second transaction now, I bought 35 mangoes for $10 each. So now how much mangoes do I have in all? Anybody?
45 mangoes.
45 mangoes, right? I have the 10 mangoes from before that were $5 each. And now I also have 35 mangoes at $10 each, which is $3.50. Now the third transaction is when I sold 20 mangoes. If I'm using first in, first out, the first set of goods I get is the first set of goods I sell. What is the first set of goods I'm going to sell?
The 10 mangoes.
The 10 mangoes. I'm going to sell those 10 mangoes first. But is that how much mangoes I sold in all?
25 mangoes.
25, right? No, 20. It was 20. So I sold 20 mangoes. So I sold 10 of the mangoes that were $5 each, because that was the first set of goods to come in. And then where I'll get the next 10 from?
The 35.
Right, the 35, right? So I'll take 10 mangoes from the 10 mangoes at $10 each. So my balance now would be this first set of 10 mangoes gone and 10 from the 35 gone. So how much I remain with? How much
25.
25 mangoes at how much each?
$10 each.
$10 each. So that's how I know the value of my mangoes now. It will be 25 by 10, $2.50. That's how you would value the goods if you're using FIFO. The first set of goods that came in was the first set of goods that sold. But what if I was using LIFO? If I was using LIFO, The last set of goods that come in is the first set of goods I sell from. In an instance like that, what was the last set of goods to come in?
The 35 mangoes.
The 35 mangoes, right? So I would sell 20 from the 35. So if I was to sell 20 from the 35, then I would still have the 10 mangoes from before. I still have the 10 mangoes from before at $5 each, which was 50. And then I would have how much remaining from the 35?
15 mangoes remaining from the 35 at $10 each.
15 mangoes remaining from the 35 at $10 each, which is 150. So if I use LIFO, the value of my stock would have been 250 plus 150. So that changed the value. That's how you value goods using FIFO and LIFO. When it's FIFO, the first set of goods to come in is the first set of goods to go out. When it's LIFO, the last set of goods to come in is the first set of goods to go out. Average cost, it doesn't matter the goods you sell. When you're using AVCO, the average cost, every time you buy goods, you calculate the new average cost of the goods. So when I bought the 10 mangoes at $5 each, the average cost would have been $5. When I bought the 35 mangoes at $10 each, I would have a new average cost. To calculate the average cost, it's total cost divided by total units. So when I bought those 35 mangoes, the total cost for all of my mangoes would have been 50 plus 350, which is 400. And the total amount of mangoes would be 35 plus 10, which is 45. So my average cost would be 40, the total cost divided by 45, the total amount of units. 40 divided by 35, 400 divided by 45 is $8.89. So my average cost would be $8.89. So when I sell the 20, when I sell the 20 units, what I'll remain with, because I had 45 units, I sell 20, so I have 25 mangoes remaining. The value of that 25 mangoes would be the $8.89. That's how you value it using AVCO. 25 mangoes at $8.89, which would be $222.25. What I would suggest is when you're redoing this, rewatch the recording a couple times. Make sure you understand how I got the value with FIFO. Make sure you understand how I got the value with LIFO. Make sure you understand how I got the value with AVCO. Alright. So just make sure when you're going to the exam, you'll understand the different functions of the procurement and inventory management, the roles and attributes of a clerk, the procedures, the different order, the different documents, the terms used. Make sure you understand the things you have to consider when doing the inventory management, how to evaluate the stock, maximum order, reorder levels, and minimum order. All right, so now you're gonna look at sales, marketing, and customer service. And again, you're gonna start off with the functions and the roles of a clerk, right? So we see sales, marketing. We're looking at what strategy we're using to get people to want to buy. Sales looks at actually completing the transactions. And customer service looks at building a good relationship with the customers. When you try the market, these are some of the strategies you have to look at. Or some of the things you have to look at the aspects. You'll have to organize promotional activities. The function, sorry. Create marketing strategies. Create budgets for your marketing strategies. Create ads, whether it's physical or digital. Work on branding, not just the logo, but the company image to match the logo. Work with other advertising entities in some instances. And you might have to do some research to maybe possibly go into new markets. And one that is not here, liaise with other departments. With sales now, you'll be maintaining sales records, calculating discounts, calculating commissions to be paid. If you didn't know, a commission is an amount paid to someone for selling an item. So if my payment is commission based and I sell an item, I will get a percentage of the value of the item. You have to assist with stock control because you don't want your goods to sell out too quick and you miss out on sales. Liaise with other departments, always be one, and follow up with customers. It will also kind of tie into customer service. So you want to try to ensure customer satisfaction when you deal with any customer complaints. Give them advice on the best product for them. Answer any questions you may have. And liaise between the customer and the company. Right? You will be the connection between the customer and the company. So you notice the marketing side focuses on getting the information to the customers. The sales side looks at the transaction itself. And the customer service side looks at the interaction with the customers. So that use that to try and help you remember which functions is for which. Marketing is how you get any information to customers. Sales is the actual transaction. Customer service, the relationship between the business and the customer. Right. So some of the things that you'll be doing as a clerk, you may have some filing to do. You'll have some data entry, so you'll have to update sales records. You'll have to communicate with customers, deal with queries and complaints. And in order to do some of these things, you'll need to be good with numbers. You need to have good communication skills. You'll need to be able to use productivity tools like Word and Excel, PowerPoint presentations. And you'll need to be able to use organizational tools like task lists and calendars and stuff like that. There's a list of some of the duties you may have if you're working as a clerk in the marketing department or on the marketing side of the department. Might have to help create the ads, help with the marketing research. Sorry. When it's time to do the sales promotions and stuff like that, you'll have to assess. You'll have to maintain and update any records. Whenever it's time to make media announcements, you're gonna have to be there as well. If you're a sales clerk, you're still gonna have sales documents to do, like invoices, delivery notes. If goods are being returned, you have credit notes and debit notes. All those things at least if not prepare, let's call it record and store. You'll have filing of records to do. Pay customers. In some instances, you may have a mailing list. You'll have to update it and maintain it. When it's time to send out promotional information, now your customer service clerk, as I say, they are the connection for the customer and the business. They are the go-between. They are the ones who communicate with the customer. When the customer calls for information on the goods, the customer service representative is the one who's going to answer. Any issues, they're the ones who have to try and solve it. If the customer give any feedback, positive or negative, that's useful, the customer service representative is the one who have to give it to the company so they can act on it. If the company have any new promotions and stuff or discounts that the customers might like, customer service rep. It's the one who will inform them.
The excuse, so basically, this is like if you're going to digital down in the finance square to pay your bill or even in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to do anything, the first person you'll normally meet is the CSR.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly that. Have you ever heard the term corporate social responsibility? You ever heard it before?
No.
You ever wondered why companies like Guardian Group and stuff might have a 5K to raise funds for charity? Well, every year Scotiabank does this breast cancer awareness. I think it's September. Yes, it does good. It gives back to the community. But it's also their way of showing corporate social responsibility. They want to show that the company is giving back to society and it's not just there to make a profit off everyone. It serves two purposes. One, it gives back to the community. And two, it makes the company look good. Yes, Rahima.
Oh, so that was on from since the other time.
Say that again?
That was on from before. I didn't mean to have it on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's to make the company look good in the eyes of the public. When the company looks good in the eyes of the public, in the long run, it's going to increase their sales, going to increase the amount of customers that remain loyal to them. So it benefits them as well. All right, so to improve your corporate social responsibility, they would want to do certain activities like charity events, maybe some staff events. They might try to sponsor certain things. They might sponsor an athlete or a sporting team or an event. And then they want to make sure to have a lot of news coverage about it. So they'll do the good things. So they give back to the community, give back to society, and then they want to make sure people know about it. They'll make sure that the information is on their website, it's posted on their social media pages and stuff like that. Once possible, they will hopefully have some news coverage. So they get some free publicity. Maybe a newspaper might cover it or news channel may cover it and give them and spread the information about it. Help them look better in the eyes of the public, which in the long run could lead to more sales for them. So got some of the marketing documents for when you have ads. Could be physical or digital. You have surveys, which are used to gather information from customers. Again, could be physical or digital. Press releases, which is official media announcements. Flyers or promotional leaflets. Sales now, you would have stuff like quotations, where you're sending out quotes on how much you're selling certain things for. So when the procurement department from the other company contact you, Your sales department will send out the quotes. Or you might send a pro forma invoice, which lets the person know exactly how much the goods will cost before the items are being bought. Sometimes persons might even use pro forma invoices when you're trying to get a loan. So let's say you want to get a loan to buy a vehicle, you can get a pro forma invoice showing the value of the vehicle before you go to the bank. Right? So the customer want to buy it, they give them a preliminary bill so they see how much it is. The invoice is actually the actual bill, letting them know how much the goods cost. It's normally sent after the goods are delivered. So you get the goods, the invoice letting you know, here, these goods cost so and so, you now owe me this amount of money. All right, so you notice all these documents here pertaining to sales is that the opposite side of the procurement. Alright, so the difference between a performer invoice and a regular invoice. The performer invoice is just to give you information. It's just giving you information on how much the good costs. The standard invoice is informing you of how much you owe the company. Completely different, and it's normally sent out when goods are delivered. So yeah, have the goods, you're now legally required to pay this amount. And unlike the performer invoice, it would include VAT if they have any. All right. Let's look at these different incentives that could be used, right? For one, a discount. You know what a discount is, right? A reduction in the price. If you offer customers a discount, that could encourage them to buy quicker or buy more, or actually buy in some instances where they probably wouldn't plan to buy. Next one, you could give special offers like buy one, get one free, buy one, get one half off, or you could offer coupons. That could get people to buy faster. Or you could have loyalty cards. When you buy a certain amount, you rack up points that you could redeem for prizes or discounts and so forth. That will get people to buy over and over again. Then you could have a gift for the purchase. You buy this and you get a free gift. Or you could offer goods on consignment. So basically, you're getting somebody else to sell for you, and they only give you back the money once the goods are sold. So all of these carry benefits for customers, well, the exception, the last one is really a benefit for the retailer, but they are all going to cost the seller. So the discount means the seller getting less money. Buy one, get one free. It might just attract people who are looking for a bargain, and when they stop offering the bargain, they may never come back again, and they waste your money. Loyalty cards could end up costing you a good bit of money, because they're going to have to keep giving away all the prizes and whatever that they're redeeming. The gift of the free item, those free items going to cost you money. And the goods on consignment, remember they only had to give the money once all the goods are sold. So you have a chance that if the goods aren't sold, you had to pay that cost. But the risk is there, the reward is there as well. Yes, you have a lower profit margin for the discounts, but you might get so much more sales, you still end up making more profit. It may attract the buy one get one free and stuff on the coupons. It might attract temporary bargain hunters, but they also might attract people who come back and come back and come back. The loyalty cards could have high costs, but the increase in sales might cover the high costs. So the goods on consignment works. The supplier still owns the goods, right? They give it to the retailer selling on their behalf. So they ain't spend any money yet. Because they ain't spending any money for the goods is not theirs. They just receiving the goods and selling it. So it really don't really have any risk to the retailer per se. Alright? Once the seller sells all the goods, they keep some of the money and some of the money goes to the supplier. If goods do not sell, the supplier will just have to come and take it back because it's still their goods. But they ain't make the money. So let's make sure when you're going this over, you know your marketing functions, your sales functions, customer service functions, the duties of the clerks, the documents used, the incentives, and you all should be good to go. Alright, so the last section, operations, dispatch, and transport. This is the production side of things now. Producing it, getting it ready for delivery, and delivering the goods. To the operations part, we'll look at how we make the goods, how we plan for it, how we execute it, how we get the resources. Dispatch will look at assigning tasks, packaging the good, getting personnel ready, preparing the vehicles. Transport will look at actually transporting and moving the goods from point A to point B. And the different channels we use to transport it. Rahima, you have a question? Or you just forgot your hand up? Okay.
Forgot my hand up.
All right. So operations, as the production part. Dispatch, as the transition, getting it ready for delivery. Transport, the actual delivering. Let's look at the functions. Gains always function to the department, and then a detail of the clerk in the department, right? We'll always follow that pattern. So for one, coordinates all activities related to production. Getting raw materials, combining it to create the good and service. Everything surrounded that process. We'll be coordinating in the operations department. We have to protect the workers. That is the department that needs to protect the workers the most. They'll be using a lot of machinery, equipment. In some instances, it could be hazardous and dangerous. You have to make sure they have any protection necessary. You'll maintain the factory records and equipment. You will make sure the quality of the finished good is where the business would like it to be. You will check the costs of making the good, the labor costs, the machine costs. And of course, every department has this one, liaise with other departments. I'll keep repeating it. It is a freebie, no matter what department you're looking at. Liaise with other departments will be a function. Oh gosh. Dispatch now. They will prepare any document related to dispatching the goods. They will maintain a database of couriers, so you know who you're working with when it's time to deliver the goods. They will make sure you're following all the rules and regulations when it comes to imports and exports. And they will schedule how the goods are being delivered. And the transport now, they're actually doing the actual transport to the goods. They will deal with getting the goods from point A to point B and making sure that the company has everything that they need in order to get the goods from point A to point B. Right. Even if it is making sure you have the vehicles, making sure all the transportation records are done completely, make sure all deliveries are recorded, you have the best routes mapped out, you have the correct drivers have the correct destinations, the customers know what time you're going to be delivering. Any rescheduling that needs to happen, they will handle it. Everything with the actual transport of the goods happens there. Now, these are the duties of the clerks. As I said, I've always seen it. Every section will be the same. Function of the section, duties of a clerk in the section. If you're in the operations department, you'll be expected to prepare a roster for workers, what you call a shift roster, saying when they'll be working. You'll have to have daily production reports showing what goods were made, what goods weren't made, if it had any downtime, any wastage, all those things will be reported. You'll prepare any other documents used in production, like your job cards, your time cards, your course cards. Your job cards will show the work that was done. Your course cards will show the costs at different points, like how much the labor cost, how much the material cost, etc. when making a product. Time card will show what it suggests, time, how long it take, etc. And any other forms used for audits. That'll be prepared as well. And transport, the clerk will have to maintain all the records for transport. They have to maintain the destination sheets. Really important, you don't want them delivering to the wrong place. Liaise with customers, confirm the days that and times that they'll be delivering. And they have to schedule the maintenance of vehicles. So you don't have any vehicles down for too long. And you know when they're going to be down for maintenance. It's important. You'll go through all of these. Make sure you know all of them. So let's look at how the logistics happens, right? Very first thing you have to do is plan your delivery routes and stuff like that. You have to put some things in place before you could actually deliver any goods. You have to plan your route. Make sure you have the locations, the correct locations and destinations, and information for to contact the customers if necessary. And if you're exporting and importing, make sure you have your license. Right? How many goods in transit? We're ready to trade now. You should have documents like your insurance to show that the goods are covered. If anything happens, you have proof showing that the goods are insured, right? You may have customs forms to fill out, declare forms, declare goods, which means you may have to some tariffs to pay according to where the goods are being delivered to. Hmm. The certificate of origin should be with the goods to show where they come from. Almost forgot to mention that. And then for the after delivery now, or when the goods are being delivered, you should have your delivery note. The person receiving the goods to sign. Hmm. For delivery. Just not moving. Right. AOA bill and bill of lading. The AOA bill, believe it or not, is used when goods are shipped by air. The bill of lading is used when goods are delivered by sea. The bill of lading is also a contract of title. It means it shows ownership of the goods. The AOA bill does not show any ownership. Let's make sure you remember that difference. A manifesto now is just a list of all the cargo that's on the ship, or if it's passengers, it's a list of all the passengers that are on the ship or the aircraft. And let's look at the difference between an advice note and a delivery note. And the advice note now is to let people know, hey, these goods are on their way. The delivery note is these goods have just been delivered. Big difference. Advice note, the goods are on their way. Delivery, The goods have been delivered. So you have to sign saying that you have received the goods and they were delivered. Everybody good? With the difference?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Delivery schedules. These are used for daily planning by the dispatch clerk. So you let people know, all right, so you delivering there, you delivering here, you delivering at this time, you delivering at this time. The destination sheet is for the drivers to get directions. You taking this route, you taking that route. Delivery note signed by the customer when they receive the good. The advice note sent when goods are on the way. If there was an accident, you have to fill out an accident report. That will outline exactly what happened. And the time card is used to record how long you work to make the product. That's it. Let's take a look at the documents. What the advice note would look like, what the delivery note would look like. Just a brief look. The delivery schedule and the destination sheet. When you're going over the recording and the PowerPoint, feel free to go over it as much as you need. Time card and the accident report. Right. Once you go through all the different aspects we now went through just now, you shouldn't have any issues. And that's it. So let's just take our final break now. And then it will be time for past paperwork. All right. Have the answers already? We're going to try and look at them before, look at the questions before we look at the answers, right? The first question was state 4 factors that might influence the selection of an effective communication medium. Who can remember some of the factors to consider when choosing how to communicate? Who give me one? You want me to give you no? Let me choose somebody. Rahima, can you give me one factor to consider when choosing how to communicate? Rahima?
Urgency.
All right, Joanne just said urgency, that's one. Anybody else to give me?
Oh,
Mm-hmm. So you can think of one now?
no. Uh,
If you want to communicate with me, what factors you consider?
I feel like If there's a language barrier between us,
Barriers. What else? Anybody? Would you call me regular or would you use WhatsApp? And
we're
why?
calling. Well,
Remember, I'm in a nice country.
if you're in a next country, WhatsApp,
Why?
because time zones different.
So time zone is one. What else? So our next reason. Let me see if somebody's saying this in the chat. Cost. And it's just typed cost. The WhatsApp will be cheaper. Remember the scenario I gave with somebody running at Cairo with a knife? And I sent an email. The email will not work. Because I would not have been the right medium because it was an urgent message I needed to send. See the urgency. What about the confidentiality? If it's a private message, that'll help me select how I'm going to do, how I'm going to communicate the information as well. Barriers.
So what about language?
Yeah, well, when I put barriers to communication, that would be included in that, right? I have urgency there already. Um, if it's confidential, the pause, the distance, time zone, barriers to communication, the resources available. So I might want a video conference, but don't have the resources to do video conference. Who the receiver is? Is it my boss? Is it a friend? Is it a colleague? The information being communicated. Is it a document that I need to send? Is it a short message? Okay, well, carbohydrates. For each of the following pieces of equipment, state how it may be used in the processing of outgoing mail. The franking machine, we use that in place of a stamp. The parcel scale is the way the packages. Collating machine, that puts the documents in a specific order, and the sealing machine is used to seal envelopes. Take a look at this now. On the 10th of May, Miss Leah Henderson received the following message. You see who received it? The receptionist. It's for Miss Leah Henderson from James Charles of Human Resource Manager of Caribbean Stores. We see it was telephoned, a telephone message, and it's urgent. To the Human Resource Manager has requested that you email Mr. Peter Brown, the accountant, reminding him of interviews. His email address is boom Mrs. Nicole Francis has agreed to be part of the interview panel. Any candidates with an X with their names will be interviewed. Julie Mark, Michelle, Elisa, and Chad getting interviewed. Then I said the interview should be scheduled 1 hour apart. They'll be held 2 weeks from today's date. Today is the 10th of May, according to them. So that'll be the 24th. It'll be held in the company's conference room. And the interview will be held in alphabetical order, last name first. So they want us to write an email. Let's take a look at the format for the email, right? We're going to be looking at the format for email. And we'll look at one for letter and one for memo. Because they will have to write something. At some point in time in the exam, they will make you write a letter or a notice or a memo or email or something. So the from is you. So for the name, because you didn't put your email address. 2, we Mr. Peter Brown. I'll put the email address there. You send her the email immediately, same day, 10th, because it's urgent. And the subject has to be something to do with what the body of the message is going to be. Right now the whole thing is about the interviewees. When they'll be interviewed, who will be on the panel, and so forth. So the subject relates to that. And I put in brackets that it's urgent. And the body of the email now is the easiest part. All you put in is exactly what the question tells you to put. So it's supposed to be a bracket. There's a little typo there. By the builder. It's supposed to be a bracket here. There's something. So I put the information. They said Mrs. Nico Francis will be part of the interview panel. I put that in. Only Mark, Elsa, Michelle, and Chad being interviewed, starting at 10 and in alphabetical order. So Henry would have been first, then Michelle, then Mark, then Elisa. Because it's alphabetical order based on last name. And it's 1 hour apart. So Chad Henry first, Michelle Isidore, Mark James, Elisa Williams. Right? And then the others were not shortlisted. So I just put that one time, right? Shortlisted is when out of the group of people that be interviewed, that applied, sorry, you get selected to be interviewed. That means they were shortlisted. Right? I see where it will be. And they said it will be done in the company's conference room. So I put that. Then I say what to do if they need any other information. And then I end it off. That is it. That is it. Your letter, memorandum, emails. When it comes to the body of the document, it just puts in any information that they tell you. That is all. Nothing more, nothing less. Don't overcomplicate it. Number 2 now. Define each of the following terms as it relates to information management now. First one is archiving. Anybody can tell me what archiving is? In your own words, it don't have to be perfect. You are the call names. Kamaya. Does archiving relate to active files that you're using regularly or inactive files that you're not using regularly?
Not using regularly.
Alright, it's for inactive files. And what are you doing with the inactive files? Anybody could help? What are we doing with the inactive files? Are we destroying them?
So you're storing it?
We're storing it somewhere else, right? Alright. So you're storing less frequently used documents away from the regularly used documents. So you know if you go in your WhatsApp and you archive a chat, it don't keep it with the other chats, they keep it somewhere else, out of sight, away from all the other chats. It's just like that with the documents. You're storing it somewhere else. So it wouldn't take up space from the with the regularly used documents. And with batch processing is processing documents in groups. Explain each of the following characteristics of an effective records management system. The first one is security. Do not overthink it. Don't feel like, oh no, I don't know how to describe this. If you have an effective records management system, where does security come in? Anybody? I feel like I ask specific people. Kimura, where you think it will come in? Security.
In storing files, like when you have to put passwords and stuff.
Right. You put things in place to protect the files, right? So you have to make sure that it's secure. So only people who are supposed to have access to it could access it. What about expansion? Annalise, can you unmute your mic?
Yes, sir.
All right. What about expansion? What are you talking about there? Again, try not to overthink it.
It's like if the amount of files like increase,
Mm-hmm.
so you'll have to get more storage space to
Right.
accumulate the files.
All right. So you're supposed to design your management system in a way that if it needs to expand or increase in size, it should be able to relatively easy. All right. So you should be able to adjust the size when necessary. Then you come here and say, after graduation, Imani Booth sent out several applications for a clerical position. She was fortunate to receive two job offers at the same time. One was from a large international organization located more than 20 miles away from her residence, while the other was from a small business enterprise 1 mile away from her residence. Outline three factors Imani should consider before deciding on which job she should take. What is the first
So,
factor? Yes, okay.
location,
Definitely.
out the
As if out the bat. One of the biggest ones will be location, because one of them is 20 miles away and the other one is only 1 mile away. But what factor might make her consider going the one that is 20 miles away?
So, salary.
The salary. The larger company would most likely be the better paying one. What else might make her consider it? Anybody could think of one more besides salary? Which one you think would have more promotional opportunities? The small
The
company or the large
international
one?
organized.
The
International.
international organization. Which one you think she'll have more work to do? The small company that cannot
More,
hire a lot of workers, or the large company that can hire a lot of workers and have a lot of specialization?
the small company.
The small company. So she'll have more work to do in the small company than in the large company. Which one would give her better experience? The small company where she'll have a lot of work to do, or the large company where she'll have less work to do? Which one will give her more
The
experience?
large company.
The small company, because she'll have more work to do. She'll have more duties to complete. That would actually give her more experience than the larger company. Because of the high level of specialization, her job would require her to do less. Right? So all of these are just some of the factors that you could consider. Which one of the jobs aligns with her career goals? What benefits the jobs offer? Most likely the larger company would have more benefits because they are larger and could afford to. Right? And these are just some. Mhm. So, number 3 now. Outline one of the corporate records of a company that a company is required to maintain, by law, is the register of shareholders. State 3 other records that a company is required to maintain. So I'm gonna have that for you one time. They have to keep certain accounting records, taxation, and contracts. Then they suggest 4 activities that the secretary and the board of directors might perform after a general meeting. Right, so after the general meeting, she would have, or he or she, would have to complete the minutes and send a copy of the minutes to everyone. Right. You have to follow up on the action plans to make sure people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Mhm. They would want to inform absent persons on what was decided in the meetings and when the next meeting would be. Mhm. And they will update the records with the approved minutes from the previous meeting. Because at the start of the last meeting, at the start of the meeting that they just finished, he or she would have read the minutes from the previous meeting and they would have been accepted or not. Alright, once they're accepted, you update the records to show that it was. And so all of these are specifically activities that would happen after the meeting. To make sure everybody have a copy of the minutes. Make sure you complete it. Make sure everybody have a copy of it. Make sure everybody is doing what they're supposed to do. So you following up on the action plans. You inform absent people on what they miss. And you update The records with the approved minutes from the previous meeting. And then you have Mr. Knox, booked a seaside suite at one of the modern hotels in Europe. Advised Mr. Knox on two advantages of paying his accommodation by credit card. You know, there's more security. When you use the credit card, you could earn points and rewards. You could also use the credit card to book it in advance and pay for it in advance. Right. Now, section 2 now. Section 2, numbers 4, 5, and 6 will relate to a specific document. A specific department, sorry. And the first question it asks you is a cross check. Remember, once a check is crossed, once it has the two parallel lines on it, it means it cannot be cashed. It must be deposited into an account. Then they said on the 12th of May, Suzanne Tomlinson received the check shown below as a birthday gift. When she attempted to cash the check, she was told that she could not receive the funds. I want you to take a look at the check that she received on the 12th of May 2021, Suzanne Tomlinson, and see if we could figure out why she couldn't receive the funds.
Sir, it
So,
wasn't signed.
no signature.
No signature. What else? Yes, Chanel.
And the sum that they wrote is not the sum that's there. It's not
No,
adding up.
right. So one has 5,050, but if the number is 500, what else? Some more. Look at the date.
They don't have adults now in an outline.
December 28, 2000.
It back to front.
No, but this was given on the 21st of May 2021.
It outdated.
Right.
So
And it
she
have
had
one more.
So the numbers at the bottom.
No, that is okay. Look at the name.
All in common letters. No.
Susanna compared to Suzanne. So the name wrong, dates wrong, the amount wrong, and no signature. No way she's getting that cashed. Now we have a memorandum. Now the difference between memorandum and letters. Letters can be used internally and externally, but they are mostly used externally. Memorandums are used for internal communication. Keep that in mind. And we'll look at the difference between the format of the letter and the format of the memorandum. Mr. Lucas Sidney, a human resource manager, identify the reasons why persons choose to leave a permanent job after several years of employment as poor working conditions, low job satisfaction, limited training opportunities, and low salary. And then how low salary is not first. Brittany Boyce a human resource clerk, was asked to assist the department with addressing these reasons. Assume you are Brittany. Using the following form, write a memorandum to the human resource manager outlining one way in which the company could address each of these reasons. So, memorandum, you put the date, you put who it's to, who it's from, and the subject. That is it. There is no salutations. So, in a letter, you'll have dear sir or dear ma'am. Memorandums do not have salutations. So, you just go straight into the message. Everybody clear on that format, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Please,
sir.
sir.
please do not go into the exam in May and write dear sir in all your memorandum, please. Just go straight into the message. And you're just writing exactly what they tell you to do. So you see what some of the reasons are. People leave permanent jobs and they get a solution for each. Poor working conditions, improve the working conditions. Low job satisfaction, improve motivation in the organization, limited training opportunities, give them training opportunities, low salaries, offer a competitive salary to the employees, or increase the benefits that they get in to compensate. Again, not something to overthink. You just want to make sure you know the format. Now at the end here, you could have Brittany Boyce. That's her name. Each human resource clerk. What it's not gonna have is a complimentary close. You're not gonna put kind regards or yours truly or anything like that. That is for letters. Letters have salutations and complimentary close. Memorandums do not. Again, letters have salutations and complimentary close. Memorandums do not. All right. Number 5, procurement question now. You said define the term quotation as used in the procurement department. We know it's a document that gives us a list of goods and services that a company sells and their prices. Not too difficult. Then they say describe each of the following types of discounts offered by the sales and marketing department. We know loyalty cards is a card that customers could use to gather points when buying from a particular company that they can redeem for specials or discounts. Goods on consignment is when you give somebody else the goods to sell on your behalf, but the goods are still yours. Once the goods are sold, both of you get a cut from it. And they say Michael Maraj. And there's Maraj. A clerk employed in the sales, marketing, and customer service department has completed training course and acquired new skills. Describe how each of the listed skills listed below will enhance his work in the department. Yeah. So the proficiency in data entry to allow you to enter information on customers, etc., faster and more accurately. If you could use productivity tools like your Microsoft Word and Excel, you can now complete reports and budgets much faster, improving the overall performance. Knowledge of organizational tools, right? It could lead you to being more efficient, missing less deadlines, missing less meetings, etc. Literacy, improve your writing skills, improve your comprehension skills, improve your overall communication. What I would recommend you do, all of these, make sure that when you're answering them, you're relating them to the department. And then here they say, assume you are Mr. Murad, state one benefit other than acquiring new skills or participating in training activities. And we just make sure Mr. Murad is the where did I go? Right. One benefit other than acquiring new skills for participating in training activities. You have a better chance of promotion. Mm. And it could increase, possibly lead to an increase in pay. When you participate in any training activities, other people, there's a chance to network. Anything like that could work. Mm. And they ask two reasons for preparing a job card. So it's the job card you'll see how much work was performed, how much work was done, and you'll see how much work still needs to be done. Mm. Mm. Outline two duties that are performed in the operations clerk to contribute to the efficiency of the business. Make sure and put it in. Liaise with other departments, always be one for um any department. Liaise with other departments will always be a function every department. Right? To prepare shift rosters, prepare other documents related to production, ensuring that the environment is safe for workers. Anything we could think of that related to the production of the goods and services. Now, on the 19th of May 2021, Deck One Things ordered the following goods from Party Creations. Sandra Peters, the clerk of the dispatch office, was asked to prepare the delivery note to accompany the goods. The delivery will be made by Mr. John Gomez on the 25th of May 2021 and will be received by Mr. Tommy Felician, the purchasing manager of Deco and Things. Use the form on page 21 to complete the delivery note. All of these things, some students just see it and panic and leave it out completely. Every single thing you need to put into that document was stated right here in this little introduction here. All you have to do is plug in the information. So 2, they say it's been received by Mr. Tommy Felician, purchasing manager of Deco and Things. So it's 2, Tommy Felician. The date on the 19th of May. Right, this is probably a mistake. It's supposed to be 19th. Oh, no. They put current date and the exam was probably on the 18th. So I put 8. No, I lie. The exam was the 19th, but I did this on the 18th. That's why I put the 18th. Whatever the current date is, you'll put the current date there. Who is it delivered by? They said delivery is to be made by Mr. John Gomez. John Gomez. Now let's fill in the information about the goods that are being delivered. Bags of balloons. How much bags of balloons it have? 2. 2 bags of balloons. If the unit price is 150, then 2 bags of balloons will cost 150 by 2, so the total is 300. How much box of party hats? 1. 1 box of party hats. 1 cost 392, so the total cost 392. Whistles. 80 whistles. But 80 there, it's $1.10 per one. So to get the total, I just take $1.10 and multiply it by 80. Receive in good condition. They say delivery will be made by Mr. John Gomez on the 25th, 2021. So you put the receive there, and the customer, Mr. Felician, would sign here. And that is it. If they give you all the thing where you have to fill out a document like this, they will give you all the information that goes into the document, and you just have to sit down and fill it out. That is all. That is all. Was what I did here hard? Was this delivery note hard?
No, sir.
It wasn't. But people see it in this mic. Right. This is 2022. Mr. Job description. Number 1. A job description provides valuable information to an applicant. Apart from the job title, what are 4 other items of information that you'll find in a job description? Anybody could think of any?
Roles and functions.
Roles and functions. What else?
The skills required.
All right. 2 more.
How to work the equipment.
Yeah, you wouldn't really see that in the job description. What you might see is who you report to, where you'll be working. If you want to get super detailed, technical, I should say, the name of the organization will be there too. But you see, the duties, qualifications, who you report to, where you'll be assigned, as in which departments, etc. List 4 reasons why it's important to have a well-written resume when applying for a job. Why is that important?
Because it will increase the chance of getting an interview.
For sure.
It will allow the employer to know exactly what qualifications you have.
It will
Correct.
also create a strong first impression.
Mm-hmm. Very good answer so far. All right. Good. That is one of the first impressions I get in, right? Increase your chances of getting a interview. Help your resume stand out. It will um leave a lasting impression, which is a bit different from a first impression. Look at the answers. Your list below provides the names of persons who applied to positions in the organization. And we want to index them. So we're going to file them. Howard Maria, they did Maria Fieri. Marie Rose Ali would be Ali Maria Rose. Last name, first name, middle name. How would Mr. R. Al be filed? Anybody?
So you go put Miss. You will leave out the Mr. and then you will
Mm-hmm.
put R.
Mm-hmm. Last name, then first name.
Oh, sorry, you'll put Ali and then you'll put R over by unit 3.
Well, unit 2. No. R is the first name. So Al, then R. What about HD Ali?
The HD will be treated as one name
Mm-hmm. It's H
and
dot
then
D dot, which means H is the first name, the initial for the first name. D is the initial for the middle name. And Ali is the last name.
For Ali,
Mm-hmm.
H, and
Mm-hmm.
then D.
Mm-hmm. Last name, first name, middle name. And then Dr. O Ali.
Ali, I don't know if to say doctor.
You leave out titles.
Okay, then it'll be Ali and O.
Correct. Ali O. Alright, always remember last name, first name, middle name. Last name, first name, middle name. Now you have to arrange these in alphabetical order. Again, last name, first name, middle name. Who will be first?
Anna.
Who?
Anna.
Mm-mm. Remember his last name? Actually, no. Anna will still be first. No, not Anna. Let me see. Yeah, Anna will still be first. Because Mayers, M comes before O and S. Might have two M's, Macintosh and Myers. And A comes before C. So Myers would indeed be first. Who will be second?
the Macintosh, Shania Macintosh or Shania
Macintosh will be
Macintosh.
second, right? Who will be third?
Giselle,
Isabel.
Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. And last would be,
MJ Simons.
right. How would you file Myers?
You will remove the hyphen and make it one name.
No,
You only remove
that's
the hyphen, but you're treating it as one name.
that's not it. You will cross-reference it, sir.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
No,
It was on the right track.
So
You're not removing the hyphen, but you're treating it as one name. So that's
so
his
Myers
surname.
Hamilton
Mm-hmm.
and then Anna and then S.
Right. So Myers Hamilton will be the surname. You treat it as one name, Myers Hamilton. Then you put the first name, Anna. Then the middle name, S. How you will do? Shani.
You're spelling out the whole Mac,
Mm-hmm. Well, you put the last name.
right? Your last name. Then Shania, then A.
Mm-hmm. And GM. Hey, file in GM. Simmons.
You put in Simon first,
Mm-hmm.
then J, then
Mm-hmm.
M.
Mm-hmm. Good job. Last name, first name, middle name. You remember just the initial for the first name, still last name, first name, middle name. Number 2 now. A main function of the office and organization is to disseminate information. Identify 3 channels of communication in which information can be disseminated. Literally any 3 channels.
The one is by email.
Mm-hmm.
Two is by, you could call, or yeah, you could call the person,
The telephone,
the telephone, and then three is they could hold a meeting.
right? Could send reports, memos, texts, um, video conference, almost have so much you could have choose from. But those 3 are correct. State 2 ways in which photocopying documents in a central location could be advantageous to an organization. So how can centralization be an advantage? You could
So
think of
all the
anything.
paper and, well, all the paper and envelope will be in one space, one
Mm-hmm.
place,
Mm-hmm.
and two, the equipment will be, I don't know, I
So
only know one.
everything being in one place, right? That is just describing centralization. It's not saying why that's an advantage. So you have to explain why you would consider it an advantage.
So easy access to the documents.
Yeah, but somebody might argue that decentralized might make it easier if it writes in a department. But you could say cost effective,
Same thing I've heard that say.
all right, because you wouldn't have to buy a set of equipment in all the different departments. According to how it's done, it could save time because you'll be hiring people who specialize in doing these things. So they'll be doing it faster than, let's say, random person who using the copy machine. And that will reduce the errors and stuff like that as well, making it more efficient. I know the biggest advantage is definitely the cost saving. State 2 items of information found in a notice of a meeting. So somebody sending you a notice letting you know that you're about to have we're gonna have a meeting. What will be on that notice?
Time,
The date,
place,
The date.
venue,
Time, place, date. What else?
venue,
Well,
reason for
place
the
and
meeting,
venue, the reason for the meeting, and you also have who will be
who
meeting.
will be there, who will be attending the meeting.
Right. Time, place, date, the purpose of the meeting, who will be having the meeting, all those could work. A general meeting of a student council of first class center was held on Wednesday, the 4th of May, 2022. The following notes were written during the meeting. So there's the information they took down. Let's see what they're asking it to do. They wanted to write up the minutes. So everything that's here, you're going to put into the minutes, right? Because remember, the minutes is a document that records what happened in the meeting. So you look at these notes, you'll see the meeting was held in the business department meeting room. So you get the venue right there. Started at 3 p.m. So you know what time it started. Ended at 5 p.m. And the next meeting will be the Wednesday, the 18th of May, 2022 at 3 p.m. again. So we know the time it start, the time it finish, the time of the next meeting. Let's look at the different things that happened in the meeting. A thank you letter was received regarding donations to the place of safety children's home. Thomas Brown, Dahlia Irvin, all these people were here. Mabel Gray didn't attend. So these 5 people were present. We see who wasn't there. The chairperson performed her usual duties at the beginning of the meeting, which would be the chairperson would ask the secretary to read the minutes from the previous meeting. And then they would ask to bring up what are the matters that are arising. And which will look say outstanding information from the previous meeting was read. The report for the first quarter was sent to the principal. Many relevant discussions took place about annual affairs. Cost of posters to advertise the fair. Sample posters were submitted. Location of fair finalized. Agreed to the cost of admission for fair. Members were asked if they had anything else to contribute to the discussion. Winston Lowe offered to print the tickets for the fair. So we're going to put all of that into the minutes now. So you'll have the date and time, the venue, the purpose of the meeting, who attended, who was absent. And then you'll state the things that happened. So the business from the previous meeting will be what you look at first, which will be minutes from the previous meeting, and then the outstanding information from the previous meeting. And then you look at the matters arising in this meeting. And again, as we said before we did the PowerPoint presentation, you're not going to put everything word for word. You're just going to put the decisions that was made. Winston Lowe agreed to print the tickets. Thank you letter received. The cost of the posters were discussed. The sample posters submitted. Location finalized. Cost agreed upon. And then what time the meeting was adjourned, and the date and time of the next meeting. Simple as that. The same information they give you here is what you write out here. Start off with the date and time of the meeting, the venue, who was meeting, who was present, who was missing, the business from the previous meeting, which would normally be the minutes from the last meeting, and then the matters arising would be what was discussed in this meeting. And then you put what time it completed or adjourned, and when the next meeting would be. You think you could answer a question like this if it came?
Yes, sir.
I think you could as well.
Could you repeat that, sir?
I said I think you could as well. Number 3, they asked about 4 attributes that a receptionist should possess. I already scrolled on it. So honesty, integrity, tact, should be private. It shouldn't be gossiping and stuff like that. Polite, ethical, professional, organized, tidy, articulate, or well spoken. Anything like that could work. In an organization, in large organization, sorry, management sometimes assigns employees to work in different departments within the same organization. Why would management do that? Assign employees to work in different departments.
Because therefore it would be easier to get information from one group rather than having to go source for multiple people.
Say that again?
Because it would be easier dealing with one group of persons specialized in that field rather than going and find different persons for the same information that you want.
Okay. Remember, it's still within the same organization, huh? It's just the hiring employees and having them working in different departments in the organization. So it could be that one, the employees could have certain skills that relate to those departments. So you put the employees to work in the department relative to their skill. Or it could be the they need persons in a certain department, somebody home or ill, so they send an employee to fill the gap. It could be um that they need some assistance. So you send employees to try and reduce the workload in the departments. Or you need more productivity for some reason. So you send more workers to work in the different departments. Anything like that could work. Employees working in different departments will allow them to learn about the department, so it could be training for them. Now this one here now. Andrea Gale, who resides in Barbados, was invited to a press conference in Washington, D.C. The conference is scheduled to commence on the Monday, the 6th of June at 1 p.m. Two travel itineraries, option A and option B, for the flight from Barbados to Washington, D.C. are shown below. Option A, going leaving Barbados 5:11, getting dinner, reaching Miami 11, and leaving Miami 11, reaching Miami 9, then leaving 11, and reaching Washington, D.C. at 1:15 a.m. on Monday. The second flight again, sandwich and coffee and juice and stuff. 8:60 for the first one, 5:50 for the second one. Next one, Barbados is leaving 10 a.m. instead. Again, some snacks, but you had to buy them. You reach in Miami 2:15 p.m. Then you leave in Miami 6:15, and you reach in Washington the next day, and you reach in Washington 8:20. This one costs a good bit less. Assume you are Kabir Patel, the travel clerk. Prepare a memorandum to Miss Gale explaining the benefits of each option. So again, to, from, date, subject. Do not state any dear sir, dear ma'am, no salutations, no complimentary close at the end. Right? All you're gonna do is state the benefits. Anybody? What will be a benefit of choosing option B?
Less money.
Less the flight cost is less. What will be an option of choosing option A? Again, dinner and sandwiches and stuff like that. Also, I wanted to watch something. Option A He leaving at 5 p.m. Sunday, and he reaching Washington at 1 a.m. Monday. So a disadvantage is that he'll be reaching early in the morning. An advantage, however, you're only staying in Miami for 2 hours. And seeing that, you're in Miami 9 and you're leaving 11. Option B, you're in Miami 2:15 p.m. and you're leaving Miami the next day. So what are you going to have to find in Miami? What are
A
you going to
hotel.
A hotel, which will cost money. So you can put all of that in the body. And then at the end of it, do not put a complimentary clause. Just put your name and your title. Always gain all that extra space. Section B now, section 2 now, number 4, 5, and 6. We'll be looking at the different departments. So number 4, they're asking about human resource department first. So just two functions of the human resource department. We know the human resource department relates to the employees. So any function that relates to employees, right? Like training them, hiring, firing, dealing with any employee disputes, appraising their performance, deployment, orientation or induction, anything like that, right? Then it asks two factors that might contribute to a high employee turnover in an organization. What does employee turnover mean again? What are you talking about when you say employee turnover again?
How much people leave in the business, or how much
Right.
people you have to replace.
How often they leave, and you
Yeah,
have to hire new people. Right. A high employee turnover is good or bad?
it will be bad.
Bad.
Bad. Right. So the things that causing a high employee turnover has to be bad. So poor working conditions, not enough salary, poor leadership or management, conflict in the workplace. Has to be things that are bad. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Mega Store Limited provides goods and services for O&M enterprises located at 101 Brunswick Street, Spanish Town. The following transactions took place during May 2022. See, 2nd of May, a balance is 2,500. There are the following payments: 750 check, 250 check, and then they issued a credit note for $45 to return a defective good. Issued an invoice valued 1,800. Issued an invoice valued at 1,200. 10% special discount was given if payment was made before 30th of June 2022. Use the form provided on page 17 to prepare a statement of account. So the statement of account will show how much they had out, how much a customer had outstanding, or how much they were owing, how much payments they made, and what their balance is. So let's see. So the balance started off as 2,500. They would have made two payments towards their balance, and then they would have returned some goods. And then they would have purchased on credit again. So that same information is what we're gonna put here. I'll just rotate it. So name of the customer. The date was the current date. So they start off with the balance, 2,500. And then they made two payments, which would have reduced their balance. and then they return the good. So if they return the good, they no longer owe for that good. So that would have reduced their balance as well. But then they receive two invoices, meaning an invoice is used when goods are bought on credit, when you're buying something and they owe for it. So if they receive those two invoices, that means they now owe money for those two invoices. So I add those two invoices to the balance. So the amount that they have outstanding now is 4,455. It started over 2,500. Then the customer would have paid two checks to reduce the balance, and they would have returned the good to reduce the balance even more. But then they purchased two things on credit. They had the invoice they received for items purchased for 1,800, and another invoice for items purchased for 1,200. That's $4,000 in items that they purchased that they owe in for. So they add that, and it goes from no, how much? That's $3,000, sorry. It goes up from 1,455 to 4,455. And that is it. You really just plug in the information that they give you. Number 5, cost insurance freight. The seller covers the cost all the way to the destination with the shipping costs and the insurance. Errors and omissions accepted. We know that any errors that was made in any documents, they can be corrected. The company is not going to be legally bound by any errors. Then it asks to differentiate the difference between quantity discount and a cash discount. A quantity discount is given when somebody buys a certain amount of goods. Cash discounts are given to encourage prompt payment. Say owing money, and you say, hey, what, to be payment within a certain date, you get so on to discount. That's what a cash discount is. So cash discount is to encourage prompt payment. Quantity discount are given when you buy a certain amount. And they said, Bally's Construction Co. purchased 5 trays from Office Max and received the following invoice. They wanted to calculate the final payment. So if the unit price is 670 and it's 5 units they buy, the total will be 670 by 5. If the unit price is 450 and it's 1 unit they buy, the total will be 450 by 1. I add the two of them, get the total cost. Then they said terms add 15% VAT. So I had to calculate 15% of 3,800, which was 570. So the total that you'll have to pay will be the 4,370. 3,800 plus the 570. Then they said after 3 days, one of the new trays malfunctioned. Explain 2 actions that the customer clerk at the Office Max should take to ensure that the complaints are addressed effectively. 1, he issue a credit note to the customer, allowing them to return the goods, and the credit note will now give the customer the opportunity to either get a new tray for the same price, same tray, so they don't have to pay any extra money, they just gain a different tray, or they could get another item for equal or lesser value. The next thing they should do, report the incident to the manager to try to reduce the chances of it happening again. And whatever you're replacing the damaged good with, make sure it's working, please. So you get the person the next damaged item. Last question now. They said suggest 3 functions of the operations office. That's the production side. So it's producing the goods and services, maintaining inventory, what's called it again? Completing production records, checking the quality of the goods, and always one that will always be one for every department. Liaise with other departments. Then it asks you 3 duties of a clerk in the dispatch office. So then all you need to know all your functions and all your duties. So they will help complete the documents for dispatch, ensure all the information on different couriers are stored. They'll help prepare the goods for delivery. They'll try to coordinate how the goods are being delivered. And they will liaise with the relevant departments. Assume you are Jalisa Bacchus, a clerk in the dispatch and transport office at Eco-Friendly Supplies Limited. Mr. Shane Denny, the supervisor, sent you the following email outlining the deliveries to be made. And they say use the details provided in this email, complete the destination sheet on page 23. So again, everything that's here, I am plugging into the destination sheet. Oh, I didn't do this last thing. Okay, but we'll do that last one together. Probably left it by accident. So take a look at the destination sheet to get an idea, right? You'll have the class of the vehicle registration number, driver's name, destination, the mate's name, the distance. All of that is here. In this first page. And all I put in here is exactly what's under what the heading say. Customer name, customer address, type of goods, and you put the name, the address, what is being delivered, how much of it, and if it had any comments. So one of them, they said the pizza boxes must be delivered before 11 a.m. So it had a special scenario with that one, so you put that in the comments. The BJ plumber didn't have anything like that. Again, you put this, spin this back around. Right. While preparing the order for delivery, Mr. Bacchus recognized that there were only 90 pizza boxes in stock. Describe the most appropriate action to take by Mr. Bacchus. What he can do, because the delivery is for 5th. Are made tomorrow. So if it is possible to get an express order where he can get the boxes same day, then he can make that or he can make that request. If he can't, he could contact the customer and see if he could get an extension. Either one of those could work. Or you could combine it. See it exactly like how I said it. If you could get same day delivery, you order in some. If not, you contact the customer, apologize, and ask for a day or two extension. Internalize it. I promise you all you can more than pass away. Just make sure and write something in the exam. Well, that brings us to the end of our OA crash courses. I will see you all for the marathon classes next month, where we do non-stop past papers, paper 1 and 2, right before the exam. I hope this was helpful. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. I think this was the last marathon. The last, yes. the class crash course. I'm finished. Oh no, those school reopens in 2 days. So much for my vacation. Have a good one, y'all.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Same to
Bye,
you.
sir. Thanks.
Bye.